welcome to another episode of Streaming Safari here at the Lion Habitat Ranch. We are coming to you from our feast room again, and Harry and George are actually nicely posed behind us today instead of showing off their butts, which they were doing the other week, so thank you, boys. We really appreciate it. Hopefully my mic, seems to be working. Okay. Of course, as always, I would like to thank you guys for coming out to see us or being able to donate to us. If you want to come and see us, which is my favorite way to donate, you can come visit us Thursday through Monday, 365 days a year, minus Tuesday, Wednesday. Do you want to do that math, Megan? No, Megan doesn't want to do the math. I'm not going to do the math either. You can do your own math. Thursday through Monday. We're open right now from 10 to 2, last call at 1, until the 25th of October. Then we switch to our winter hours and we'll be open 11 to 3, last call at 2. If you can't come out and see us because you live out of state and you're not taking your trip to Las Vegas yet, you can help us out online. We've got all those links right down below, including Amazon wishlist, which you can buy all kinds of cool, fun toys for our birds. And you'll get a nice little thank you letter from our ranch manager. Yes, you will. Yeah, she's not here today, so I can't. I'm speaking for her. So yeah, please follow all those links down below to find ways to donate to us. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. All that helps us out so very much. We are completely a nonprofit here at the Lion Habitat Ranch. So thank you so much for just tuning in. And today I am super excited because we have our first spooky themed streaming safari for you for October. And I have the pleasure of introducing you to some very cool skulls. I'm super excited about it. But before we get into the skulls, I did want to give you guys just some reminders and kind of walk you guys through a couple of different regulations that we have to be aware of as animal caretakers. Megan and I, Megan's on the video today, not Denise. She's my background person today, and we both have backgrounds in biology, and these are super important things that we learn about going out and watching wildlife, finding carcasses and things like that. There are a lot of especially federal regulations as well as state regulations that determine whether or not you're able to collect pieces of animals. Now, we're very lucky. I have the absolute pleasure of being very close with a number of scientists who work at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and also all of our zoo community and things like that, so we can get our hands on lots of really cool stuff to show you guys. But I wanted to walk you through a couple of these different things and make this a learning experience for some of our very important federal laws that protect our wildlife. One of those is the Endangered Species Act. The Endangered Species Act was first codified in 1973. And it protects not only animals and fish, but also certain plants that might become endangered, and which is super cool and super important as well, but I think a lot of people overlook. And any animal that's listed on the Endangered Species Act, you have to be careful to not take any parts of those animals. They are illegal to own. There are exceptions, and those exceptions have to do with like things that occurred before 1970s when the law was passed. There are things like whale bones that used to be made into tools or into trinkets that people own from way back in, maybe the 40s, maybe the 20s or the 1800s that you might still find around, but a lot of those things are illegal to sell, illegal to get hold of in any way. So always be very careful. One of the other ones is the Marine Mammal Protection Act, which was also enacted in the 70s to protect all marine mammals. And this guy actually does fall under that protection, although this guy is not listed on the Endangered Species Act. So again, figure out your regulations to determine whether or not you can have these guys. There's also all kinds of exceptions for scientific research and universities and things like that. So this guy is a California sea lion. And that Marine Mammal Protection Act does talk about federal conservation of all of our marine mammals. And the Lacey Act is something that's very important to us. The Lacey Act was introduced in actually 1900, very early. And also recently, in addition to that, from the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which was introduced in 2022, adding to the Lacey Act. And that is something that helps to protect are very important big cats like Harry and George behind me. And we're very lucky to be able to work with these guys, being a Class C USDA licensed facility. We get to teach you guys all about these guys, and that's one of our favorite things to do. So thank you so much for letting me go over all of those regulations with you. I just want you to be aware that if you ever find something like a skull in the wild, just be careful to identify what kind of animal it is and look at your local and federal laws to determine if you're able to take it home with you. And be careful because they can be biohazards. Lots of things to be careful about today. Okay, so we're going to talk about something really cool. We're going to talk about dentition. I actually have 2 carnivore skulls here for you. This, again, is a California sea lion, and you can see one of his teethers in there right now, his big canine tooth right there. And then this guy is a mountain lion. And he takes a second for me to get out of the jar. It's kind of like a geometry puzzle. I swear he comes out of the jar. He does come out of the jar. Okay, Megan is getting all of the angles of me struggling to get this guy out of the jar for you. And he's very old, so he is a little dusty. Okay, so you can tell from those really big canine teeth here that these guys are carnivores. They also have what's called a sagittal crest, so this big portion of their head that comes up on both of these skulls, and that's for lots of extra muscle attachment for all of that crushing that these guys are going to need to do when they're eating. One of the, hang on guys. Sorry. Does it end? Does it ever end?
Thank you for visiting the Lion Habitat Ranch. We are now closed. Please make your way to the exit.
I am so sorry, guys. That is what we get to listen to at the end of the day, every day. We're filming Streaming Safari a little later than we usually do, so, you know, you guys got to enjoy the song as well. Okay, so what I want to talk to you specifically about for these guys today is that these guys have some very specific teeth setups. And I want to tell you about something called a dental formula. So here is how a dental formula works. And this is part of a way that we can tell what kind of animals are what based on looking at something like their skulls, or maybe even individual teeth. Now, a dental formula is made up of what types of teeth does the animal have. So you're going to have a top and a bottom. It's going to look like a fraction. And the top is going to first say the incisor, or the incisors. The bottom will say the incisors for the bottom jaw. The second one will be the canines on the top and the bottom. The third one will be what are called premolars, and then we'll have our molars. Now, the premolars and molars can also be combined into something that we call cheek teeth. So these can be combined into something called cheek teeth. And so you could have just 3 numbers or 4 numbers here. And so we're going to look at the number of incisors, the number of canines, the number of premolars, and the number of molars.
Okay, he's coming.
So the top and the bottom are sometimes going to have a different number of teeth. So that's why we have to have a top and the bottom for each of these dental formulas. So we're going to look at 3 different skulls right now with 3 different dental formulas. Now, we're going to have our felid skull, which is our mound line here. And so our felids are also going to include things like our lovely lions. And these guys are going to have a dental formula of 3/3 for your incisors, 1/1 for your canines, 2/3 for your premolars, and 1/1 for your molars. Now you have to multiply, if you add all of this together and multiply it by 2, you'll get the total number of teeth. So the total teeth for a felid is going to be 30 teeth. For our sea lion, which is actually more closely related to a dog than a cat, your sea lion is going to have, again, 3 incisors and 1 canine, 4 premolars, and 1 molar. I have one more to show you guys that we can compare it to, which is actually a rat skull. And the rat skull is going to be a lot different. It's going to have 1 incisor on top and bottom. It's going to have 0 canines, 0 premolars. Did I do that right? Yes. And 3 molars. So this has a total of 30. This guy has a total of 34. And this guy is going to have a total of just 16. Now, do you know how many teeth you have, Megan?
32.
32. Do you have your wisdom teeth?
No.
So how many teeth do you have? You have 28? You have 28 teeth. So we can do one more, which is human, which is going to be 2/2, 1/1, 2/2, and 3/3, which will equal 32 if you have your wisdom teeth. If you don't have your wisdom teeth, then you're going to have 4 less teeth. Or if you have like 2 of your wisdom teeth, you'll have 30 teeth. So somewhere between 28 and 32. Now, just to reiterate here, this is how many teeth are on one side. So let's look at our skulls to see that. And I actually have, let's see, okay. So my skull here is missing some of its teeth, but we can see where those teeth belong for the most part. So if we look at the sea lion, it's supposed to have 3 incisors, 1, 2, and then a little space for one that's missing right there. Those are the 3. So it's for the left side or the right side, not both. And one of these incisors, guys, look how big this is. So it actually, so look how big this is. It actually inserts into here. And this is an extra large incisor that's going to be found in these types of animals. So not all animals have this type of tooth. This is just going to be reserved for your animals that are similar to canids. We'll also see it in the felids as well. And then this is your single canine. And this is actually what the canine looks like if it's taken out of the skull. And it just inserts right in here, and there'll be a root attached to it when it's a live tooth, just like your teeth. Now we can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which should be the total number of our cheek teeth. So that one's right. And then we will move on to our kitty skull. And our kitty skull has a little missing tooth here too, but you can't actually see the incisors on this guy. So you're going to get 1, 2, and then one's missing, 3. For our incisors are 2 very large canines. And on the top, remember the top premolars are different than the bottom ones. So I'm going to have 2 premolars on top, and I'm going to have 3 that I see here on the bottom. Okay. And then a very cool thing we can do is actually compare the type of teeth that these guys have. And the type of teeth in these guys are meant for shredding. So these are very sharp, pointed teeth meant for shredding apart meat. They even look a little bit different between the sea lion and the cougar here, because these guys, yeah, really going to shred up this meat. These guys are going to swallow their food whole. They're going to just completely swallow those fish. So they don't have to grind it up quite as much. Now this is a teeny tiny rat skull. Teeny tiny rat skull. And we can actually see that it has 2 incisors that are very special. These actually are not rooted. They'll continue growing for the rat's entire life, and they have to actually wear them down on things. And then we can see it's only got 3 other teeth on each side, these little teeny tiny molars. Little teeny tiny molars. So all your different animals can be distinguished by the different number and the different types of teeth that they have. I hope you guys enjoyed our spooky streaming safari. We'll see you soon.